This is Peggy Erkeneff, Director of Communications for the Kenai Peninsula Borough School District. And Superintendent O'Brien, every week we're doing updates. And a really important thing just happened that we want our families and parents to know about regarding the cloth face coverings. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. In our original Smart Start plan, cloth face coverings were encouraged and an option at the green and at the yellow alert levels. I've made a change based on input we received from the Alaska Department of Health and Social Services on our Smart Start plan and on feedback that we've received over time from staff, parents, and the community. A new aspect of our plan, I've decided that I will be requiring cloth face coverings for all students in our schools from grades 3 and higher, and also for all staff members. In both instances, cloth face coverings will need to be worn when 6 feet of physical distancing cannot be provided.
And I'm 6 feet away from you right now, and I do have my face covering on. However, what about parents that are going to be picking their children up at schools or visitors to schools? Do they need to wear cloth face coverings as well?
Yes, we are going to be requiring all parent visitors and other volunteers to wear cloth face coverings at all times when they are in our school settings.
And we know that our families were going to have lots of questions about this, so they can contact their schools and learn for their specific sites what's going to happen during passing periods and lunches and everything else. All those details are worked out. So another important thing that everybody's been talking about is, I know that I can choose to go to my local school or charter school, or I could do 100% remote learning through that school, or I could choose Connections Homeschool as the 3 options our district is offering. When do people have to make that choice? Because we need that information, but we don't want to do it too soon. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And last week in Peggy's communication to you parents and to the community, she did a really nice job of outlining what those choices are for you here in the Kenai Peninsula Borough School District. And you can always refer to that. What we need to do now is get some information to our principals, because next week principals and leaders from their school are going to be coming to our district leadership academy, and the academy is entirely on planning for the startup of school. And what will really be helpful for principals is if parents provide us some preliminary input on what you're thinking, which choice and which option in the Kenai Peninsula Borough you're planning on choosing. Whether that's you want your child to come to school every day in person, or if you still want your child enrolled in a Kenai Peninsula Borough School District neighborhood school, but attending that 100% remote, or the third choice for the district is our Connections Homeschool program. So what we're going to be doing a little bit later on today, when this communication goes out to everybody, is actually asking parents for each of your students to give us a preliminary indication of which of those 3 options you'll be choosing. If you're not quite sure what your choices are and you want to talk to your school secretary or your school principal, we encourage you to do that before you take the survey. Please know that the options that you select in this first survey are not your final selection. Next week after that, or at some point in the near future, we'll be sending out an actual enrollment form for you to sign out, and your school principals and secretaries will be following up directly with you to make sure that you fill out the official survey. So that's what it's looking like, but it will be very helpful for principals to have a preliminary idea so that they can plan class lists and which staff at their school are going to be teaching in person and which ones at their school are going to be teaching remotely.
Great. We know there's lots of questions people have, and so also in the update we have an FAQ that we're putting out. Another question that we know our families have and our staff is, what are the risk levels and how do we know, and are we going to ping pong back and forth? Now we know next week we're launching our new map on the website, and we'll talk more in depth about that next week. But is there anything you want to add about risk levels today?
Sure. I'll start by saying the last several days I've been more encouraged with the numbers that are coming in from our community, and we're all well aware that very shortly dip netting will be ending, and the height of our tourist season will be waning in the next several weeks. So we're hopeful that even though we've done a really good job over the summer with our community numbers of COVID cases, that will continue to go down. Currently, the Eastern Peninsula is in red because of the Ocean Beauty icicle seafood plant outbreak that happened there, and some of those individuals were actually Seward residents, so we are counting those. On the Central Peninsula and on the Southern Peninsula at this point in time, we're in yellow, but again, numbers are pretty encouraging at this point in time. So we hope to be able to, hopefully in all areas, offer in-person schooling options for your child. Of course, those numbers will dictate. Our plan is, hopefully, especially if it's just a daily fluctuation in numbers, to not ping pong between one level to the next, so that we can provide families and parents with adequate warning if we're going to be changing levels. Of course, if we have a significant outbreak or situation in a particular school, that particular school might overnight need to go to a different level. But in terms of day-to-day case counting and our involvement with our medical professionals who are helping us make these decisions, our plan is to not ping pong on a daily basis back and forth between colors. And I think that will really help parents as you make your decision, what you want for your child to start the school year. Everybody wants their students back in school, in person. I know our teachers are hoping that their students will come back and not have a repeat of what happened fourth quarter last year. So that's an update on the alert levels. Be looking next week for a communication from Peggy on the new district map that we'll be unveiling that will let you know immediately what the alert levels are in your communities.
Thank you, Superintendent O'Brien, and people can always find information on our website at kpbsd.org. Call the district offices at 714-8888 or go to our social media accounts, and all our schools are reopening and our staff is back. So they're excited to be here and be here for you. Thank you.